Welcome back to the Starketer, episode 10. Well done everyone, we finally made it to double digits. Now to mark this momentous occasion, momentous if only because 10 happens to be my favourite number, I need to actually kick things off by holding my hands up. Because over the past few weeks we've been talking all about content, but there's been a glaring omission. So yeah, we've covered everything from content calendars to blogging, LinkedIn to case studies. But there's been a missing piece of the puzzle, which I was only reminded of in a discussion I was having earlier this week. And the missing piece that runs throughout all of this, and therefore our key activity for episode 10, is creating and using a lingo library. Now, that might sound a little bit cliche and corny, but this idea was originally taken from the brilliant Dave Gerhardt. And what he said is that we should really be using the resources available from our customers so that we look, sound and feel exactly like them. So the library is something that we can begin to curate and build up over time. And what we want to fill it with is the words, phrases and language that's being used by our prospects and customers alike. So whether that is to describe a pain that they experience, or maybe a before and after from using your technology. Ultimately, what we can begin to do is start to create a catalogue of language and phrases that we can then put into our messaging so that we know that we are tailoring this specifically to the lived experience of our market. Ultimately, we don't want to be using our perceived perceptions of what their life is like. We should really use their described experiences because nobody knows the situation better than our clients. And so our job as marketers is to make sure that our messaging is relatable. Sure, we can build trust through expertise, but you can also build trust through familiarity. And we want to be seen as that person that, they know exactly what I'm talking about, rather than they really know their stuff, but I feel a bit on eggshells around them perhaps. By building up this lingo library, we know for a fact that we are using language that our customers use and experience in their day-to-day. So when it comes to creating content, we just dip back in. We see, I want to write about this topic. How have my customers spoke about it in the past? Bring that language into our messaging. We seem both relatable, trustworthy and familiar. So make sure to remember that going forward in the content. Just use the resources available and remember our customers know their situation better than anyone else. Now moving on to our key learning for the week. And again, finishing off with another little bit of a content learning to link to the Lingo library. And that is coming from Gary Gumbleton over at Capital Content, who are a great videography company. I'd definitely recommend checking those guys out. But what Gary talks about a lot, especially for people in our situation who are potentially a bit time poor or resource poor, is making sure that we create content that has multiple uses. So making sure that the time we invest in creating a piece of content can be used either as a blog, condensed onto a social post, maybe turned into an infographic for social media. Ultimately though, the idea is that if we're investing the time to create some brilliant content, we don't want it to be used once, forgotten about and then put on the scrap heap. Make sure that we can reuse it so that then the value keeps coming back and we get a better return on our investment for the creation of the content in the first place. Now, to finish off episode 10, we've got a nice bit of inspiration this week from Laithwaite's Wines. So I saw this ad on telly this week and I just thought it was fantastic. I'm going to post a link to it in the comments below. But basically the idea was, we've all seen the classic dad joke of pretending to walk downstairs behind a sofa. And so that's how the ad starts. And everyone is classically rolling their eyes with disdain that they're going to have to live through this joke again. But what happens is when they come back the other way, they've got a bottle of wine. Laithwaite's, of course. And the whole idea is that they were creating this wine cellar feeling. So turning what is initially quite a negative, groan, dad joke into something that's actually quite clever and funny. I just thought it really resonated. So I'll pop a link and let me know what you think. Well, that's it. Thanks so much for watching episode 10. I'm really grateful if you stuck with me through these 10 episodes. It's been a great little journey and I'm hoping to keep carrying on in the future. Next week, I'm going to take a little bit of a break off though, but I'll be posting my 10 lessons and 10 activities that we've collated from the year so far. So thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.